Thank you. Yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we're starting Module 3. Module 3 is rational numbers. If you look at the definition in your green vocabulary packet, highlight the definition of rational numbers. A rational number is a number that can be written as a ratio. That means it can be written as a fraction when the numerator and denominator are both whole numbers. Okay? So 8 is a rational number because that could be written as 8 over 1. 3/4 is a rational number. But what we're mostly going to be focusing on in Module 3 are positive and negative numbers. We'll be looking at positive and negative numbers on the number line, comparing them, ordering them, looking at them on the coordinate grid. That's going to be our focus for Module 3. Today we are going to jump around Lessons 1 and Lessons 2, which is looking at positive and negative numbers on the number line and in real-world situations. Okay, first we're just going to talk a little bit about the definition, so you should still be on your green packet. We're going to look at some definitions. So the set of whole numbers and their opposites, including 0, are called integers. So highlight integers on your green packet. This number line diagram shows integers listed in increasing order from left to right using equal spaces. We did number lines back in our ratios in Module 1. We did double number lines. We jumped right in, but those were only positive. But when we made those double number lines, we always made sure they were even intervals. Remember, if we were trying to get 100, we couldn't go 20, 40, 60, 90, 100, could we? Remember, we looked at even intervals. So that's what we have to remember here with these number lines, that we use even intervals, just like in science. When you're when you're reading the thermometer, the triple beam balance, your graduated cylinders, you looked at the intervals, didn't you? All right. So when you start at 0 and you move to the left, now it looks like the digits are getting bigger, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. The digits are getting larger, but not the value, because we're looking at negatives now. -1, -2, -3. So no matter where you start on your number line, as you move to the left, the numbers are getting smaller in value. Doesn't matter where you start, to the left is a decrease. No matter where you start, as you move to the right, they're getting larger in value. So if you're comparing numbers, we're going to just jump really far ahead real quick, take a little sneak peek to the future. If we're comparing two numbers, whichever is on the right on the number line would have the larger value, to be the greater number. Okay? All of these numbers here to the left of 0, so if we start at 0, everything here to the left are negative numbers. So you could highlight that in your green packet as well. Negative numbers are less than 0. 0 is just 0. And we're going to talk about 0 a little bit more in a minute. Okay? Everything to the right is a positive number. So you could highlight the definition of positive number on your packet as well. Positive is everything greater than 0. Now, on this first slide, our number line was horizontal, which means like side to side, horizontal. If we looked at a number line that was vertical, like a thermometer, everything above 0 is a positive number, everything below 0 is a negative number. And as you move down the vertical number line, it gets smaller. As you move up the vertical line, it gets bigger. Like the temperature. The temperature gets hotter and hotter and higher and higher. The mercury in the thermometer goes up, 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 up. Okay? Or as in on Saturday, it went down, 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 down. It was cold on Saturday. Okay, let's continue. So let's take a look at 3 3. Real quick, another side note over here. We call the positive and negative, those are called signs. So if we have a positive 3 and a negative 3, that symbol in front of the number is called a sign. Typically, with positive numbers, we don't write the sign. So if there's no sign, we assume it's positive. But now that we're focusing on positive and negative numbers, since that's all we're looking at, you might want to write the positive sign just so that you know maybe you didn't forget the negative sign. But that's up to you. If you don't write the positive sign, that's okay. Now, can somebody tell me something about the positive 3 and the negative 3? What's something that they have in common? What's something that's the same about those two on the number line?
They're both equal distance to 0.
Nice. Positive 3 and negative 3 are the same distance from 0. So let's take a look. If I was going to count the spaces, 1, 2, 3, and then count the spaces, 1, 2, 3. Those are both the same exact distance from 0. So those are called opposites. So highlight that in your notes. Opposite integers, number 4. And that's the last thing we're highlighting today.
Yeah.
Opposite. So what's the opposite of negative 5? Positive 5. What's the opposite of negative 100? Positive 100. See, we're going to barrel right through module 3.
You could say positive 100, you could say 100.
You could say 100. Yep. And 0, we said before, we were going to talk about, well, here we go. 0 is its own opposite. So the opposite of 0 is 0. Okay? Let's take a look quickly. If on this number line we wanted to draw or label or find 150, we usually see number lines with 0 right in the middle. But if I have to draw a very large number, just give me a minute, we're not in the packet yet. 0, so far we've seen 0 has been in the middle. But when you're making your number line, you could put 0 wherever you want it. You don't have to have your number line balanced on both sides. Okay? So if we had to go to positive 150, what intervals could I use? What spacing could I use?
10.
Absolutely, we could count by 10s. What else could we do? Could count by 50s. 5s. 25s. 15s. You could choose any interval you want. Okay, and then you would get, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. So that would be 150. I'm not going to label all of the tick marks right now. Okay? But I just wanted to show you that you don't have to always put 0 in the middle. Especially when you have a large number, you might want to scoot it down a little bit. All right. Turn to page 5 in your packet. Make sure you have a highlighter out. All right, we have the same story on the top of page 3 and the top of page 4, but we're going to focus on page 4. So for Tim's birthday, he received $150 in cash from his mom. Highlight the word received. Does that indicate positive number or negative number? He's adding $150 to his bank account. So what is that? Positive. So write a little plus sign above it. So received would be positive. His dad took him to the bank to open a savings account. Tim gave the cash to the banker to deposit into the account. So deposit. Now, let's stop and think about it. Technically, Tim is giving the money to somebody else. So the money's not in his wallet anymore or not in his pocket. But when you're looking at your bank account, that's your money, like in that big secret vault in the bank that the bank robbers always go in and try to get. So that bank account is your money. So he's depositing it, so that's still his money, so he still has it. So a deposit is a positive. He's adding it to his secret pile in the bank. Okay. The banker credited Tim's new account $150 and gave him a receipt. So highlight credited. So because she added it to his account, that's a credit. So a credit is also a positive number. When you play your video games, do you get credited coins?
Sometimes, depends on the game.
Okay. 1 week later, Tim deposited another $25 he had earned as allowance. I need Tim's parents to totally adopt me. $150 for his birthday, $25 a week allowance. I hope my daughter isn't doing this problem with her 6th grade math teacher. And I don't want her coming home with any ideas. It's a lot of chores for $25 a week. But back on track. So a deposit. A deposit means he's adding more money to his pile in the bank. So a deposit is a positive. The next month, Tim asked his dad for permission to withdraw $35 to buy a new video game. So that $35 is coming out of his account to go somewhere else. So a withdrawal, if he's taking money away, to take away is to subtract. Subtract, think of negative. So he's subtracting that $35 from his account. Tim's dad explained that the bank would charge $5 for each withdrawal from the savings account. So if he's going to charge him, that means the bank is going to take away $5 from the account. The bank is taking away $5. So if they are charging him, that's a negative. For each withdrawal, we already said withdrawal was negative. And the charge would result in a debit to the account. Your parents have ATM cards?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the sign, we accept debit cards? Or gas stations, if you pay with your debit card, sometimes they'll charge you the cash price. Debit is a withdrawal, because when you use your ATM card, you're taking it out of the bank. A debit card, you're withdrawing it from. A lot of people think, oh, I used my debit card, I got money. No, that money was taken out of your account. You're withdrawing it from the account, okay? Because that's your money in the bank. You're not getting money from your... So all we're going to do right now is write the integers that represent these events, and then a quick number line. We're not going to do all of them because this is very time consuming, and I have other activities I want to do. So how would you write integer as, how would you write opening a bank account with $0 as an integer? How would you write that? It would just be, God bless you, just be 0. So on a number line, you would just plot 0. Okay, you don't have to draw the number lines. To make a deposit of $150, would that be a positive or a negative? Go back and look at what we highlighted. Right, since it's a positive $150, we don't have to write the sign, the plus sign. But if you want to, that's not wrong. It's a different kind of writing. Credit an account for $150.
Positive 150.
Right, that's also a positive 150. So here they are as number lines. Make a deposit of $25. How would you write that? You don't have to draw the number line. Nick? Yep, that's also positive 25. Now the number line is not showing how much money is in his account. That number line is just showing that integer of positive 25. Because if he had 150 in his account and then deposited another 25, he would have a total of 175. But that's not what we're showing here. These number lines just represent that integer. All right, bank charges you $5. That means the bank is taking $5 out of your account and they're keeping it. They're taking it away from you.
Negative.
So that's -5. So on a number line, that's what that would look like. And if you're taking $35 out of your account, if you're withdrawing it,
That's negative.
-35. And that's how it would look on a number line. Okay? All right, turn to page 6 in your packet. Let's go over these words. And this chart will be a great reference when you're doing your homework or other activities. So gain, is that a positive or a negative? Positive. You're adding it. You're gaining weight. Well, you're supposed to. You're growing children. So when you gain, you're adding weight on. So that's a positive. Debit. Positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. When you use your debit card, you're taking money away from your bank account. Ooh, below 0. Negative. When you're talking about temperature, you would not say that it's -6 below 0, because you're saying negative twice. So you either say it's 6 degrees below 0, or you say -0. You don't say -6 below 0. That's like saying it's cold. Credit. Positive. Deposit. Loss.
Negative.
I'll let you catch up on the writing in a second. Withdraw.
Negative.
Receive.
Positive.
Charge.
Negative.
Oh.
Negative.
Negative. Here. All right, let's take a look at writing integers to represent some real life situations. Hopefully this is never a real life situation for you. A company loses $345,000 in 2011. How would we write that as an integer? Gentlemen? Maybe they donated it to charity because they had so much money. That would be nice. What if we raise our hand and quietly give me the answer? Allie?
Negative 345,000.
Right. Notice we dropped the dollar sign. We're just talking about the value, writing it as an integer. You earned $25 for dog sitting.
No, like,
Oh, that's problem set.
Where's that here?
Oh,
And with the word from here.
it was doing the whole.
oh,
All right. What is that, positive or negative? And if you don't want to write the sign for the positive numbers, you don't have to. But for the negative numbers, you have to. Jacob owes his dad 5 smackaroos. Would that be a positive or a negative? No, it doesn't really say smackaroos. I saw you checking. I saw you checking up on me. She's like, what? Well, -$5. Because he doesn't have that 5. And when he gets 5, he's got to give it away to his dad. The temperature at the sun's surface is 5,600 degrees Celsius. What?
that's hot.
Yep.
Positive 5,600.
Yep. Notice we dropped the degrees Celsius. The temperature outside is 4 degrees below 0. -4. Notice we dropped the degree sign. That football player lost 10 yards when he was tackled. You know, because you were trying to catch the deflated football.
Yeah.
So, what is it? -10. -10. take a quick peek at the thermometer on page 6. Your problem set is page 7. You're doing the whole thing. So very quickly, page 5, let's take a look at this thermometer. The boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Where is 100 degrees Celsius located on that thermometer? To the right? Do they start off right away with a question that's kind of gross? Where is it? It's not on there. What is the largest number?
Nate?
Sure.
8 degrees Celsius.
God bless. Then let's jump down to part C. What's the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit on that thermometer? In Fahrenheit. There's 2 number lines on that thermometer. The left is Fahrenheit, the right is Celsius. So, what is the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit? Yep, positive 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, but it says to write it as an integer. So since it says to write it as an integer, you're not labeling it. The temperature shown to the right in degrees Celsius.
Oh, May? 38.
38. The directions say to just write it as an integer, so we're not labeling it. What's the freezing point of water in degrees Celsius?
0.
0.
0.
Okay? So if it's asking you as an integer, you're not labeling it with dollar signs or degrees. And if it's saying below 0, you don't use a negative sign and say below 0. It's one or the other. Okay? Oops, there we go.
Got it.
Come on. There we go. All right, below 0 already means that the temperature is negative.